Hello, pro wrestling fans. Welcome back to Squared Circle Speak, the YouTube channel that, uh, you know, talks wrestling and does what we want. Uh, I am Ryan. With me, as always, is Nathan. And today, this is Squared Circle Speaks on AEW. We're going to talk about the week that was in AEW from Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision. We're going to try not to go super far in depth with everything that happened with like every match, but they did have a lot of big matches, so we're gonna have to kind of talk about a lot of that. So Dynamite Beach Break, Nathan, was a pretty good show because we had a bunch of Owen Hart Cup matches on this show and a championship match as well. So we had a lot going on here. We kicked it off with Pac and Danielson. What'd you think of this one? I thought it was pretty damn good.
Yeah, so this match was really good. So Ryan, what do you think? Do you think they overall, after we're going to talk about the individual matches, but overall, AEW's TV, do you think they capitalized on their good pay-per-view, or do you think they just kind of did so-so?
Dynamite was really good. They had some pretty good matches. After that, but
Okay.
Dynamite was good. I really actually enjoyed this show. I thought it was pretty good. Every match was really good. They had a lot of big matches here, a lot of like I said, tournament matches, but then you had a return and you had a turn at the end. So you had some pretty good stuff. Um, this match as well, this was really good. Danielson gets the win. I mean, it was kind of expected. Well, I was kind of hoping Pac would win, but Danielson's on his little last run here. So it's looking like Danielson's it might be heading to win, but we'll see. I'm not sure about if he's going to win this whole tournament, but he's heading in that direction. The second match was another. This is the women's Owen Hart Cup quarterfinal. Will Nightingale and Chris Statlander. This one started with a pounce on the ramp. So that was a hell of a way to start this match. Just right out of
Yeah,
the gate, flying. Pretty good match. Statlander hit an F5. That was
that was
crazy.
kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah. Didn't expect to see that. And then kind of a shocking win here, Nathan, because I think we were both kind of thinking Statlander was going to win this whole tournament.
We did, but no, she did not win this match. So how do you think this tournament's going to go now for on the women's side?
Well, now I think it's pretty much going to be Mariah May. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen now. If Statlander's not winning it and she's out, I'm pretty sure Mariah May is going to win. And then they're going to do Mariah May versus Tony Storm.
Makes sense.
On the men's side, we'll get to that next match. Uh, what did you before we get to that? What did you think of this Britt Baker promo? Kind of went on too long for my liking.
I think that she got a little emotional. She talked real for a little too long, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of made it bogged down and made it a little way too long. She talked real too long. I wasn't a fan. I get that like when girls are mad at each other. This gonna sound sexist. I get when women are mad at each other, and at least from what I've seen in the past, they call each other,
Mm-hmm.
bitches.
Yeah.
And they seem to do that quite a bit in this talking segment, and it was kind of like, I think you're just saying it just because you can say it now.
Yeah, I feel like it was overdone. Yeah, I mean, she got emotional. She said, I guess she had a mini stroke, um, which no one knew about. I guess they kind of kept that private, if that's true. Like they didn't really never mentioned it. They never mentioned that she was out injured or anything. This whole time, she just hadn't been there, so everyone was questioning where she's been. If that's the case, hey, good for her. She's all healthy, good to go. Awesome to have her back. But yeah, this promo kind of went a little too long for my liking. And then Monet came out, and yeah, they call each other bitch about like 16 times.
Yeah.
uh,
Um, but it is going to be a good match. I mean, it should be on paper anyway.
yeah, oh yeah, it should be a great match. I feel like that match is bigger than the world title match. So seems kind of weird. But then we had the Owen Hart Cup quarterfinal: Jeff Jarrett versus the the hand-picked opponent. Who could have thought this was going to be like Hangman Page? Because clearly I didn't. I mean, I'm like, it was fine, but it's fine. Everyone kind of knew it was going to be Hangman Page, though. Like, I
Yeah,
think this wasn't
yeah.
much of a surprise, which is that's fine. He kind of just destroyed Jeff Jarrett in this thing, though.
I can't believe Jeff Jarrett took that freaking dead eye.
Yeah,
That was brutal.
yeah. He hit him with the. I mean, Jeff Jarrett got a little bit of offense in, but this was pretty much all Hangman. So Hangman's not the bun beer drinking, lovey dovey Hangman anymore. He just came out all serious, no like funny little facts on his nameplate anymore. He's just Hangman Page, and he was here to kick ass. Which, hey, that's fine. Backstage, there was a little segment where the Bucks were like gonna congratulate him, and then he said, he kind of just backed him on and says, "I'm not your man, I'm not your puppet." So maybe he's not gonna join the Elite. We'll see. A little bit of story. I liked it.
Yeah.
And then we had the International Championship match: Will Ospreay versus Danny Garcia. MJF was out with them. You know, and then this led to him. Ospreay wins. And then this led to the excellent MJF heel turn. He just turned on Garcia and then kicked his ass. And then Matt Menard came out and he hit him, and MJF is now a heel, which I don't know why they didn't just bring him back as a heel.
Because I mean, yeah, they probably should have just had him back as a heel right away. But I mean, now I mean, I guess they. I don't know. I'm trying to justify it.
Well, the reason I could see him coming back as a heel, as a face, was to do the blow off with Adam Cole. But apparently that's never going to happen. They knew it wasn't going to happen, so I don't know why they did. They should have just forgot all about that.
Well, I guess they didn't want people to forget it. They wanted to.
Yeah,
They
but now
they didn't want to be like wrestling in the past where you just drop storylines and
true.
forget stuff. They had their little segment where he low blowed him, and that was the payoff for now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad MJF's a heel. It was a weird way of doing it. They're trying to make me care about Danny Garcia, and I'm just not going to care about Daniel Garcia. I don't see it. I don't know. Well, maybe it's just me. I just don't see it with him. I don't get the star. I don't get why everyone's like so into him. Maybe it's just me, but this was good though. I mean, MJF looked like a fucking piece of shit during this segment, and that's exactly who he should be. So hopefully we're back to having the good MJF that I wanted, and not the MJF that was just happy-go-lucky. I'm a good guy, MJF. So hopefully we're back to that. So
right.
Rampage didn't have much. There was a semifinal match that we'll talk about. Everything else was just whatever. Roosh beat Commander. Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher beat Private Party. Kyle O'Reilly beat some guy within about a minute. And then the main event, Mariah May versus Hikaru Shida in the Owen Hart Cup semifinal. I kind of ruined it earlier, but Mariah May did get the win here. Shida went for a Kimura, and May countered it with a bridge and got the win. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. So if they do this match, do you think Mariah May wins?
I think so. She's kind of hot, like everyone, and I don't mean that in the.
I was gonna say she's very hot.
I mean that in the crowd reaction way. The crowd's into her. She is very over. I guess that's the word I should use. I think it's time. I mean, Toni Storm's had a hell of a run. But I think you get Mariah May with it, see what she can do with it, even if she doesn't hold it very long. I think it's time you get it off Toni. You turn Mariah May face, and then I think that's the way you go. They may not, though, and Toni Storm may beat her. I don't know. We'll have to see where this goes. They may have because it kind of seems like they're faces now, though.
Right.
So if Mariah May turns on Toni, does that make May a heel? I don't know. I don't know the dynamic now, so. But we'll see.
That is a big good question. I don't know where it goes after.
Yeah. So if they're faces now, I don't know where we go. Who's going to be the heel? Tony
Yeah.
may turn on May, I guess, make her the heel. I don't know. It's interesting though, and I'm glad they've got some some sort of dynamic storyline going on here that you don't know where it's going to go, and you kind of have to keep watching to see. That's what I like in my wrestling. So then Collision kicked off with MJF coming out talking about Danny Garcia. He said he was a pawn. He said he'll tell us why later. He said Garcia won't make it to All In. Probably never going to wrestle again. He then shows a clip of Dynamite from 2023 where he said he can't handle rejection. And he's talking about ADHD. And then it was another one of those you people promos. He said that he opened up and they never gave a damn. He goes, he did everything for you. He let in Adam Cole for you. He broke his body down. And then they paid a thank you, Joe, while MJF was in physical therapy. So again, this was another you people promo.
Yeah.
I hate it. Why does it always have to be the people while they turn? Why is it always the fans' fault? I don't, because that's not true. Like MJF was over his shit when he was a face.
Exactly.
This is not true. That's why I don't like it. But then he turns his attention towards Ospreay. But then he goes, the fans have ruined this company. He goes, but I'm here to fix it. He goes, Ospreay can't help the company. He goes, all Ospreay cares about is good matches and not ticket sales or ratings. The only ratings Will Ospreay cares about are Meltzer's and not Nielsen, which I thought was a good line. Ospreay came out, and then Ospreay said his stuff, but he didn't come out. he swerved everybody, and then he said, he's not coming, and then all that stuff. So we were clearly heading towards MJF and Ospreay at All In, which is going to be a fantastic match. This is going to get good between them and MJF on the mic.
So we might have a situation where when we're heading into this pay-per-view, the international title could be outshining the world championship match for the men.
Mm-hmm.
And possibly, I don't know, Mariah May, Tony Storm, it's a story that's been building, so it might not as much get overshadowed by Britt Baker and Mercedes.
I don't know. What do you think would be the bigger story for the men? Daniels for the world title, Danielson or Page? Because I feel like Page with the history with Swerve would be good, but Brian Danielson having his last hurrah trying to win the title seems like a bigger story to me.
Yeah, but how do we get there? You know what I mean? Like, do you have Brian Danielson beat Page already?
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. So I don't know where. I feel like Page is going to win, and they're going to do a rematch, but I don't know if I would much rather honestly see Brian Danielson. But I don't know. Yeah, I feel like if it's Page and if it's Hangman and Swerve, I think MJF Ospreay is a better match. Is going to be a better build. Because we just saw that match not that long ago. And I don't know if it's going to be better this time around. So I don't know. You're right. We could see the lower card matches be the bigger things here. Also on this show, the conglomeration took on the Iron Savages and Jack Jameson. The conglomeration is Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Briscoe. They won, obviously.
There's been an awful lot of screen time lately.
Dude, it's crazy, man. We forgot to mention that Mark Briscoe said he's going to be the first guy to join Team AEW in the. Mark Briscoe is going to be joining Team AEW in the big Blood and Guts match. So
yeah, they're doing Blood and Guts again in 3 weeks.
Nothing screams Team AEW like the ROH World Champion.
Well, not only that, but nothing screams AEW like out of nowhere announcing Blood and Guts is coming like in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and we don't even know all the team members yet.
Yeah. Wow, we know the elite team members.
Well, they're still missing one because it's 5-on-5, so they're still missing one person. So we'll see who that is. Tony Storm beat Trish Adora. Yeah, it was a squash. Jack Perry, here we go, Nathan. Holy shit, what do you think of this? Jack Perry had an open challenge. He comes out, and his opponent is fucking Marco Stunt. Jesus, dude. People on the internet were acting like this was a huge fucking deal that Marco Stunt. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, are we really gonna do this? This isn't like fucking. It's Marco Stunt. Like, Jack Perry won and is still champion. It was like 2 minutes. Not much happened.
Yeah.
Like, it's a moment, but it's like you have people on your roster that you're not using, and then you bring back Marco Stunt for this. Hopefully, this is a one-off. I'm hoping.
Well, they had history. I get why he did it, but
Yeah, but Jesus. Claudio beat the Beast Mortis, which was Black Taurus. That's his new name.
yeah, we hadn't seen him on TV in like a month.
Yeah, he signed with AEW, then he just never. And then he just disappeared.
Yeah, but no, remember when Ray Phoenix came back?
Yeah.
Him and Ray Phoenix had a great match, and then didn't see him again for ever since.
Yep.
But he's supposed to be signed. Like, he's not with AAA or CMLL or nothing. He's actually just AEW, and he's never on. Like, what happened?
I don't know. Yeah, and again, I just mentioned you have people on the roster you don't use. Yet Marco Stunt got that spot. Riho came back. She took on Lady Frost. She wins. And apparently she broke her arm. So, woo!
Oh, great.
She came back for one match, and apparently she dislocated her arm or broke her arm or something. She did something to her arm, so she's gonna be out. So, I mean, that sucks for her. She just came back. This was her return, and now she's already injured again. Terrible luck for Riho. And your main event was Jay White versus Hangman Page in the Owen Hart Cup semifinal match. This was great. I always want to see me some Jay White. Jay White and Page went out there, had a great match. Obviously, Jay White loses to the Buckshot, but Christian Cage came out and speared Jay White, leading to Hangman winning. So I guess, are the Bang Bang Gang good guys?
I don't think so, but
because now we got Christian's group feuding with them. We had Hangman versus Jay White. This was all heels interacting in this match.
It was.
And it's very confusing because I didn't know who the heck was like. I don't know who's the face. I guess we're going to do a 6-man tag eventually between Christian's group and the Bang Bang Gang. But yeah, super weird. Very, very weird to do a all heel feud, but
yeah, it makes the crowd. I mean, the crowd does root for Jay White though, so
yeah,
I guess he could be technically a tweener. I guess.
But yeah, so we're gonna get into who we think is the best show of the week, and I think it was Dynamite this week, Nathan.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, SmackDown was probably the best. I would say the best show of WWE this week. But they only had 4 matches, and the only other than the tag team match, the other matches did not do much. You know what I mean? Like, the main event was good, but every other match on that show wasn't very good. Really short, a lot of long talking segments on SmackDown.
Right.
And so that's why I think AEW Dynamite was better, just because they had more action and they actually furthered some storylines, like we said, talked about. So my vote's for Dynamite. I don't know what your vote's for, but my vote is for Dynamite.
What happened on what do you think about Raw? Was it Raw wasn't that great, was it?
No, Raw was awful this week. I mean,
yeah,
we talked about it. Like, there wasn't much on Raw either. Like, they had a couple good segment matches, but again, they had way long talking segments too. And
and NXT was okay. It was a special show, but they didn't.
Yeah. Like
They didn't have the barbecue. So and you gotta have there you go. The barbecue cancels out NXT, so yep, Dynamite.
I mean, yeah, Raw had the great Drew McIntyre Sheamus Ilya match, which was phenomenal. But like I said with SmackDown, I don't think one match saves the show. And I think even though they were the go home shows for Money in the Bank, you would think Raw and SmackDown would have been great, but they really weren't what I thought they should have been. And so,
Well, WWE doesn't do very good go home. I'm not.
yeah,
That's just a fact.
so I think Dynamite gets it this week. Dynamite was really good. They had a lot of good matches and furthered some storylines, and we had some surprises, and the MJF heel turn I think is what solidified it for me. So
Right. All right. Let's talk about some news here, Ryan.
yep.
So seems pretty clear that Ricochet is probably going to sign with AEW.
I mean, I would say I don't see him going anywhere else, honestly.
Right. Uh, and then also, apparently Shane McMahon has reached out again to somebody because this is in the news again. Ryan, how do you feel about Shane McMahon? I think we talked about this before, but how would you bring him in if he did come in?
The only logical thing I think you could say is that he's like co-owner now or something. Because you can't, he has to be in some sort of management ownership
What if,
capacity,
I
right?
saw I saw this take. What about this?
Okay.
What if he comes in with the elite and the elite basically have him come in and he runs the show for the elite? So it's almost like he's their Eric Bischoff.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, that would be fun. Like he has to come in like a management role.
Or maybe I don't see, I mean, MJF doesn't really need this because he's obviously a great talker.
Yeah.
But what if he comes in and he's like MJF's kind of manager or something, associate, almost like and he's like basically saying, hey, they start bringing back that oh, I might go to AEW eventually or some shit, and
Yeah.
I got my way in now. It's Shane McMahon.
That could, I mean, I don't really see Shane McMahon ever showing up, but if he did, or the only other thing you could do is say like Shane, they could do some stupid shit and be like Shane is now co-owner, so he owns Collision or something. And that way, that way, like it's booked
Uh-oh.
differently. It's like,
I really don't want that.
no, I don't either, because it just basically be WWE with brand splits and shit and weird stuff. But I don't think it's gonna happen. Uh, God, I hope it doesn't happen. God, I hope it. I just don't want to see it.
Yeah. All right, Ryan. I think that's gonna do it for this episode. If you like this episode, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, so you can hear more of these AEW rants, if you will, and hit that notification bell so you know when we're gonna upload another one.
And stay tuned tomorrow as we will have our Money in the Bank and NXT Heatwave reactions. So stay tuned to that tomorrow. See ya.